everyone, and welcome back to more React videos, private React videos for my patrons for January 2023. This video is for Slayer, and Slayer has requested something unique and interesting, a little different. Several months ago, he requested that I would react to a video from someone who, I think their name is Maxor on YouTube, and what they do is they do purposefully incorrect summary/review videos of games. They try to add in a lot of comedic things that aren't true about the game and or do memes and funny things over it, while also, at least with the Cyberpunk 2077 review that I watched, they technically did review Cyberpunk while adding in a lot of parody and silliness. So I'm curious how this one will turn out. If it's more serious, because this is about a year ago they did this Bloodborne review. Defeat God's Doll Waifu Simulator. Honestly, that could probably be an accurate description. So let's see how it goes. Here we go. Without further ado, Bloodborne review by Maxor. Let's react.
Bloodborne is a Lovecraftian horror RPG that no one understands by definition, where the player is free to attack hordes of human children at will and consume their innards. If that in-depth and engaging anti-baby gameplay appeals to you, keep listening because it gets worse. In this game, you play as John Bloodborne, a foreigner incapable of speech without the use of sign language, and stricken with Habsburg disease, comes to the ancient city of London seeking treatment for the sins of his cousins. In doing so, he will begin hallucinating talking dolls, spider people, and the great journey John Bloodborne becomes conscripted into the service of a gay elder god and a 60-year-old man he keeps as a pet, and is given the ultimate task of killing an invisible infant in order to cure his anemia. To accomplish said Herculean task, the player must journey through dark forests, terrifying nightmares, and the method alleyways of Brexit Britain, slaying monsters, exploring, and tricking women into being impregnated by gods so you can consume the child. This game is an excellent realization of a Metroidvania with something new around every corner. A great action RPG which pits you against insurmountable odds and extreme challenges.
Gee, some of these things are true. Very true.
Story and lore about discovering the Eldritch truth. So if you can, play it yourself because I'm not going to hold back on the details. It's no secret that my reviews are entertainment first, so I don't suggest using me as genuine advice.
Use the Persona 5 text window.
However, most people can't play this game, ever, because you have to buy a $400 magical box sold by the wizard Sony in order to experience it. And even then, you get to see it in an amazing 30 frames per second. No anti-aliasing.
So
Put this game to PC, I beg of you. In fact, I can assume that a lot of people watching this video will basically never play the game. But keep watching because I'm hilarious and original. Do that, and I can give you the full, unfiltered, uncensored, unsubstantiated, and unsportsmanlike experience that is Bloodborne.
There it is! The Persona theme. Persona 5.
The gameplay is what makes this game great, and the easiest way to describe it is simple but complicated. On a simple level, your baby brain is responsible for only two tasks: dodging and hitting.
Very true.
Renders you temporarily invincible. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. Because every single enemy is adjusted to keep pace with you. Basic enemies are basically able to whoop your ass into fucking non-existence. Every encounter, therefore, is tense and engaging. When you kill someone, it's because you were faster and had more meth than they did. On a complicated level, you have a gun, and normally bullets.
What the fuck is that?
In London, bullets are a suggestion, like the Geneva Convention. Here in England, it's all about the knife bins. Except when you shoot somebody mid-attack, you gain the mystical and arcane ability to plunge your fist through their ribcage like Mortal Kombat and rip out their heart, which is considered rude and a slight annoyance. This extends to behind them if you charge an attack, which sometimes causes you to reach up a pig's
up the ass.
Rip the colon out. Side note, the most optimal farming route for currency in this game is called Murgo's Pig Fisting Route. See it change the webpage. And in this route, you sneak up behind this guy and do him the dirty. Then entice these two swinedealer bastards to be mauled to death by members of Organization 13. Repeat 50 times. On a complicated level, every single weapon in the game has two different modes with two different movesets. Transforming between them gives you special attacks, in addition to running attacks, plunging attacks, On a theoretical physicist level, your character memorizes squiggly lines and fridge art created by gods for passive bonuses that work regardless of weaponry. My favorites are more money,
They're still playing Persona 5
music. They stack. Finally, on a meta-theoretical chiropractic level, every weapon is customizable with different gem slots that give differing effects for your attacks. And there are different types that can literally change all of the stats of the weapon, like making a fucking spear do more damage based off of intelligence. There's definitely more and a lot of strategy in how you level up your character, but I assume that you know how to level up in a fucking video game. But with all this combat prowess, you may be wondering, Maxor, who are these crusty abominations that you're fighting on screen? Well, to learn that much, we're going to have to delve into the lore.
No, not the lore!
Bitches, because this shit is wild. If I say something questionable, just accept it as fact.
That's right.
I can be trusted. 60 years ago, 20 rowdy college students took their education extremely seriously because they found Woman Cthulhu. She was just in a portable toilet downstairs. Also, because they were bored, they beat to death a god of the sea with some bats, but that's a story for later.
The DLC.
It turns out the entire world is ruled and created by a race of elder gods beyond human comprehension called the Great Ones. Figuring this out, they got Cthulhu's blood and were like, we can make a religion out of this. Because it turns out the blood can heal people, which is really good due to all the knife crime. So everyone starts drinking it a little too much and they get the money to build 36 cathedrals, but it turns out eventually the blood turns you into a werewolf.
This is seriously the best summary of the plot. It is.
To go fight the beasts with an organization known as the Hunters, but there's too many beasts, so he gives up. Now the knife crime is increased even more, and German sort of goes insane and creates a life-size doll of one of his students who is an 8-foot-tall Amazonian. He also canonically has sex with it. The moon god, for some reason, kind of takes notice of this and is like, alright, listen, I'm building a suicide squad. I will bring your waifu to laifu if you serve me for all time as my slave. German reasonably thinks that this is a great deal and is imprisoned in a dream. This is where you come in. See, the moon god assassinates baby gods for fun, but needs a hitman to go into the real world to do it since he's confined to the 9th dimension. So in addition to fighting all manner of giant beasts and uncovering dark secrets, the true aim of this game is to commit infanticide. There's enough bullshit here to fill tax legislation, so comment your own poorly summarized Bloodborne lore below. And for the rest of us non-shills, we have ample time to explain more of what makes this game great.
Again, I had to say it.
Yes, you have been japed.
I know that sounded like a really over-the-top stupid summary, but it actually is pretty much a good summary of the game. I mean, it misses a ridiculous amount of detail about it, but yeah, that's exactly the truth. And the thing is, here's one of the major criticisms that I have when it comes to FromSoft games. None of that's ever explained in the game. What you have to do is, as you play the game, you have to find items. Then you read the item descriptions. The item descriptions lead to a discovery. Nothing in the game is in order, right? The two origination creatures that started everything that happened in Bloodborne, all the mutations, all the monsters, are like, one is a super hidden optional boss that's incredibly hard, and the other one is the final boss. Well, I guess the offspring of the final boss, or no, the offspring is the final boss of a DLC. It's the hardest thing in the game. So it's like, if you completely play the game to mastery, then you finally find out how the story began. And then it's like, okay, so, you know, I only had to completely master everything, buy the DLC and everything. Oh, now I know how the story goes. If you read the item descriptions and understood, because they never explain it. You just have to read all the item descriptions to try to understand it. It's like, why not just have a game that has a story that I don't have to fuck about and try to figure out and piece together? You know what I mean? It's like, I bought a book, but the book is torn into 400,000 pieces and thrown around your house hidden. So now, as you're doing things in your house, you find the hidden pieces of the book, you have to tape them together and try to tape them together in the right order. You know what I mean? And by the way, you can't get the last piece that has the critical piece of story until you're in the attic and you clean the top of the attic. Then you get the last piece. Oh, that's just how it started. That's, you know, in the beginning, the first 3 words of the book. It's messed up. They should be way more better narrative tellers. Because he just tells the plot, he's like, oh, that's the summary. Well, it sounds wild, it sounds crazy. No, that was almost accurate. Almost. I mean, there's an exaggeration there. No, it's not a bunch of rowdy young college students. It's a bunch of scholars looking to basically use alien technology to advance mankind and become super powerful. But at the same time, it's right. Like, what he's saying is correct, as crazy as that sounded. But the way he tells it in order. You don't realize that the beginning, you don't know till you've beaten everything in the game. Pretty wild. All right, let's continue. Let's see what he has to say about it further.
I am talking about bosses before I talk about the levels.
In
most video games, bosses cap off areas, but in Bloodborne, areas are preambles to a dick flattening, and nothing will challenge your skill in quite the same way.
There's
except for the goddamn Witches of Hemwick, who were placed into the game for disability access. You can probably tell that Bloodborne is a hard game. We don't even know if a games journalist can beat it, but it's hard in a fair way that tests your skills and reaction
I do
time,
agree there.
except for Lawrence, but I'll get back to Lawrence later. What sets this game's bosses apart is that the challenge makes it feel like you're a really small dude jabbing a toothpick into into a building-sized deer demon. So yeah, I would be impressed if he killed that. But not only that, unlike Dark Souls, every single boss reacts meaningfully to how you attack them.
Right.
Large beasts can have their bones cracked and their tendons wound into a slinky. Bone boys can be knocked over and have their marrow sicked. And human enemies...
That is absolutely true. In Bloodborne, if you're doing it right, if you're overwhelming them with attacks, if you're parrying, they will react to your attacks. As opposed to, in Dark Souls, half the time the enemy just acts like you don't exist. Oh, I'm completely made of unbreakable super armor, and you just wail on me, and I just, oh, what? And you just continue with your attack. It's just dumb. If I'm destroying you with a giant combo and counter hitting you and timing everything properly, you should react to it and allow me to have a feeling of power because I did something right. And at least this game definitely gets that correct, I feel.
Wince and recoil when they see your height difference. As well, every boss punishes you for cowardice and actively discourages backpedaling with their forward momentum, causing every fight to be an elaborate dance with a thrilling back and forth. Unless you're fighting Rom, who is the really ugly caterpillar if he had a legion of arachnid slaves who threw their heads underground like ostriches. We don't talk about him. And while we're on the subject of bad bosses, this motherfucker, let me tell you something. The humanoid bosses in this game are paradoxically the most dangerous. But Mikolash is a psychological hazard that will hurt you personally. This boss literally feels like cut content because the fight centers around chasing him, and his direction depends on RNG, making him an actual speedrun killer. When you corner him, he uses one attack, and then you chase him again, where he gains the power to insta-kill you. God forbid you're hit by it, because that's 10 minutes gone. Here's the tip. Save up 10 poison knives and steal from your family if you must. Then wait until he jumps down this hole, poison him repeatedly, and watch him spaz the fuck out until death. You will thank me. But as a result of everyone who isn't Miko shit, conquering a boss in this game is absolutely rewarding on a level that other games cannot match. Only because the odds are stacked against you in ways that don't feel bullshit most of the time. That conquering them is the main reason I play, and their fights are undoubtedly the best I've ever done in video games. But that isn't most of the time in the game. In fact, a lot of your time is spent exploring the areas, so let's get into that. Lesson 1 in area design. Where the fuck am I going? Exploration is the name of the game, except it's called Bloodborne. Only this time, you don't bring smallpox and kill 20 million people. We're looking at a solid 10 this time, because the main enemies in this game are British townspeople. That's how the developers made sure you didn't feel bad about killing them. The plague of beasts infecting London causes people's teeth to become beast-like, makes you aggressive at night, and slurs your speech.
So it's like real London.
So it's up to you to stop them, as a hunter should. If you don't look up where to go next in this game, good fucking luck. People get lost all the time. Get used to it. This game doesn't do exploration like, oh look, there's loot in this hallway. My dopamine's gonna go crazy. That's baby shit. This is daddy's exploration, where you find a route back to a place you were in 10 hours ago. And I hope you weren't expecting a mini-map, or any map. Every single
nice rock
is a
on the
rabbit
head.
hole of discovery, and your hand isn't held. Case in point, Cathedral Ward is a level, but feels like a hub area because it connects to fucking everything. And where you start the game is in the middle of a loop-de-loop involving torturous experimentation. Just look at the fucking map of this game. Everything overlaps. And yes, there is a level called Nightmare Lecture Hall, and no, it does not connect to the Altar of Despair, although you would think that. Fittingly, the Lecture Hall is the smallest area, and more fittingly, 90% of the combat is graduates throwing cum at you. The game also has 2 completely secret areas that you would not find without the internet. I would tell you how to enter, but I don't want to do calculus. And what you get at the end? Upper Cathedral Ward is legitimately a horror area and a game loved for its combat. Because it's filled with enemies who act out my greatest fears. Stealing currency.
There they are, the suckers.
Gives me fucking chills every time I talk about it. Castle Canehurst is proof that From Software hates us all, since the best area in the entire game requires you to go to the Field of Corn in Ohio and trek down water. But it's worth it to invade the house of that parasitic queen dwelling in her demented castle, so that she may feel the wrath of the proletariat. All we have to do is kill Prince Philip, who guards the way as an eternal
Of course, keep in mind, this
On
is
top
before
of
they
this,
passed
there
away,
are
I
numerous
bet.
NPCs and NPC quest lines spread throughout the world, all with a series of interactions with each other depending on location and timing. For instance, you could direct nuns, prostitutes, and Prince Philip to a church run by a lonely black sludge, then perform enough blood transfusions to send the nun into a yandere rage. Or you could direct them to the nice woman who runs the clinic down the street, who only wants to help and assist others. Then take a strange path through the forest and into her clinic to discover that she's been experimenting on all of them in order to create the
turned them
Blue
all
Man
into
Group.
aliens.
And if you want, you can take the umbilical cord away from her schizophrenic ass and eat it. The sky's the limit in Bloodborne quest. And you know what my favorite quest line is? The one where you descend into literal hell, complete with eternal punishment, insanity, and femboy fishing, the scariest of them all.
That's
I'm,
the
of course,
DLC.
talking about the DLC, the only DLC for this game. And if you play through Bloodborne, you have to play through the DLC. I'm not giving you a fucking choice. So tell me why you should play the best expansion ever made since Spore Galactic Adventures. Jungles. Come with me on this amazing journey to find the secrets of the Bloodborne, the old hunters.
Oh god, now he's gonna do the DLC too? Wow.
I want you to imagine hell. Now imagine hell written by H.P.
Oh, did he
Lovecraft.
say it was
It will
Britain?
be filled with squids, immigrants, and air conditioning. This DLC has none of that except the squids.
The
For
squids,
you
it does
see,
have the
those
squids.
college kids from the lore section of the video were built fucking different. They experimented on an entire village and possibly beat up a god of the sea so fucking bad that her consciousness in the 9th dimension died. We spent an entire game killing an infant, and these guys somehow killed the MILF god. But anyways, in the process of this, it cursed them and all of the hunters to be doomed to a hell upon death, where they will hunt in a bloodthirsty rage without rest for all eternity, indistinguishable from a political subreddit. Case in point, this is Ludwig. He's the first boss
Yeah,
of the
he's a
DLC
pain in
and
the
has a
ass.
reputation for
I wish I didn't
causing
play a New Game
refunds.
Plus the first
Not
time I
because
played
he's
it. I would've been
bad,
able to
but
beat it,
because he's
but
too good for you.
it is what
The
it is.
first
Now
phase
I've
is as
destroyed
difficult
this
for me
DLC,
as
so.
realizing that Golden Corral is not actually a real corral. But like every restaurant except Golden Corral, the rewards at the end are delicious because his second phase is even harder. Now, I'm not going to lie, this DLC has 4 bosses and 3 of the hardest bosses I have ever fought in any video game ever. So your ass will be clenched the entire time, and the fact that he's the 3rd hardest is fucking concerning. Some people tell me, Maxor, your videos have gotten me through tough times because they made me laugh. But like this boss,
Nostalgia
you are
critic
the one
again.
who is truly overcoming these challenges, and I believe in your ability to beat both of them. King. Boss Lightning Round. The DLC has many such cases of amazing bosses, including Lady Maria, who is the basis for German's extremely creepy 8-foot-tall doll fetish,
Yep,
but we'll get
the
back
original
to that.
Lady
And
Maria.
Orphan of Cause, who was born from the literal dead body of a god. If you enjoy the sensation of being beaten to death with a sharpened placenta, this is the fight for you.
He is fucking
And as
hard,
with
but once
everything
you
that
master him, it's
FromSoftware
fun to
makes,
beat.
they threw in a boss that they didn't really finish and called it a day. I'm of course talking about Lawrence, which is a very mundane name for a fire monster locked in hell. Take my advice, don't fight Lawrence, you only lose a part of yourself, since this boss fights you by dropping off his own legs and then violently vomiting and
This guy was
shitting
easy
lava
for me.
everywhere.
I thought the
I've always
others were
wanted
way
my game
harder.
with
This
a
guy was
dynamic
easy,
dodging and
simple.
elaborate fencing to be reduced to shitty area denial like
I'm
it's
pretty
Team
sure I beat him
Fortress
pretty
2. To
easily.
wrap things up, the music of this game is pretty good, but the DLC music is fucking insane. I don't know what it is about Japanese composers being able to make better symphonies than the continent that invented them, but just take a listen. Holy shit, I'm alive right now. Have you ever thought, as I do, that this game is just too good? That you would really rather be playing a shittier version of the game, such as the engagement of the Chalice Dungeons?
No, they
I,
suck.
of course,
They really
jest.
are bad.
They're fine, probably, except for half of them, because Bloodborne has an optional system of infinite dungeon
Yeah, it's
generation
bad.
for all of those who wish to break free of the shackles of good level design. Let's talk about how, and more importantly, why.
There's really no reason except you want the
Bloodborne has a
super boss
system
at
of
the end.
dungeons
That's
that
it.
everyone shares and dungeons that are random. For my footage, I played the shared dungeons that you can be guaranteed the pain you witness on screen is mandatory. One of the biggest strengths of Bloodborne is the ability to have interesting and challenging enemy encounters gently rubbed with the blood-stained hands of Miyazaki. But I don't think I have to explain to you how randomizing almost every encounter in the game could be imbalanced. But fortunately, most enemies you encounter in the Chalice dungeons are new to spare British people your wrath. So you instead fight SCP-96.
Yeah, I think
But
you fought
why
a million
are we
times
here?
and
It
fucking
turns out
100
that the
enemies in
entire
RPG.
city of
So
London
dumb.
was built on a Celtic burial ground, an ancient civilization called the Tumerians who discovered the healing powers of blood and then mysteriously disappeared. Wow, I wonder what happened. This is all cool in theory, but the reality is that most of the time you fight the same 4 enemies,
Yep.
and the first 3 dungeons can be replaced by Simon Says. My cat literally wouldn't notice. The Chalice dungeons are so forgotten that the developers use them to put joke enemies into the game. My favorite is the man who aggressively rolls at you stark naked wearing only his Nikes. The uniqueness also extends to the bosses, and they're actually pretty cool, like Tumerian Descendant, Watchdog, and the 3
problem is they're not
overweight
good
men.
bosses,
Do you remember
though.
that basic enemy from like 2 levels? He is the boss now. Rom, he is the boss again.
Yeah, I
The
know,
only thing
Rom, a
stopping
second
me from
fight, so
throwing
bad.
myself into a wood chipper is the fact that Miklash isn't back. And if you're going to have replays, you probably want to make sure that they're actually good. In fact, the bosses are so fucking imbalanced that the Watchdog fight is primarily comprised of instant kill attacks. I beat Sekiro backwards on a keyboard.
Sekiro.
This shit is too fucking much. Now, normally that would be all, but the dungeons go deeper. What we have discussed so far is merely the surface, and there is a much darker syndicate lying just below. These places you must never venture, for they are the save edit dungeons, whereby through wizardry the community are able to conjure deep dark chasms and share them with the rest of the world. Of these secrets, there are only 2 that I shall reveal to you, and the first is the Cum Dungeon. Yes, you heard that correctly and clearly. The Cum Sun Dungeon is the name of the most optimal farming route ever conceived by the fucking cricket people who do this shit, whereby the player enters the chasm of place name and watches as a high-level boss yeets itself off a cliff. Murgo's pig fisting route can give you 10,000 echoes. This gives 83,000. And if you thought that sorcery was bad, it gets much worse. You can insert anything from the game files by save editing a chalice dungeon. Anything. This includes cut and unfinished content from the game that the developers forgot to delete, like this doggo who attacks you with invisible lightning. Overall, the chalice dungeons are bad. They're not actually very fun to play, and yet I love them. Everyone loves them.
Oh, I don't.
They
I
allow
hate
us
them.
to
I think
further
they're terrible.
explore a long-dead game with the help of a passionate
Absolutely
community.
terrible.
Before we sign off, I know what you're thinking. Maxor, what about the multiplayer? That I would love to talk about with all the footage I have, but it's dead. If this game releases on PC and better, then I will talk about the multiplayer extensively. And finally, this game and this video would not be complete if I didn't talk about the hunter's dream. After all the combat, the battles, and the difficulty of this game, it's nice to have a place to recharge, purchase items, upgrade weapons, and watch as it violently burns to the ground.
At the end.
This is where you'll find German slowly wasting away as his soul remains captive for an eternity, and his doll waifu that he sold his existence to be with. She talks to you, levels you up, offers you advice, and German says you're allowed to have sex with her. When I fell down and felt defeated, she was there to pick me up. When I emoted at her randomly, she pretended to be impressed, and she was there, graciously standing in the background of this one shot that I took of myself. She is our waifu now, and the game is perfect and complete because she is in it. Now excuse me as I engage in the supplementary lore material. Should you get the game? Yes, absolutely. I am biased. In fact, you should physically enter Sony's headquarters and demand that it be ported to PC. I will be right there with you. Tasers will not stop me. I would like to thank the corrupt hackers and politicians funneling money into this channel directly from the taxpayer. If you would like to contribute your funds accrued through government corruption,
his reviews are great because even though there's an insane amount of hilarity and nonsense and chaos, they kind of encompass the spirit of what the game is in a funny way. That lore summary is actually one of the best lore summaries I've ever seen of Bloodborne. It's concise. It skips a bunch of detail, but it's concise and actually explains what the hell is going on in Bloodborne, which is chaotic as shit. It's just nuts. So, all right. I like Maxor's videos. The second one I've seen. I've seen Cyberpunk. Now I've seen this. Absolutely love it. And I hope that you guys liked my reaction to it as much as I could react. You know, what else was I going to do? I wanted to keep going and keep it moving. But that was great. I actually feel like that was really a good summary of the nonsense of Bloodborne, except the Chalice Dungeons, which I hate. The one thing he didn't show is the real reason to do the Chalice Dungeons, which is there's a super boss at the end that's supposed to be an optional boss that ties into the story. And he didn't show it. What was it, the Queen of Blood or whatever she is? He didn't show her. That's kind of weird. I wonder if he never beat the Chalice Dungeons. Because once you do them all, you get all the crafting items to get to the secret area that she's the final boss of everything. But, alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed my react to the Bloodborne review from Maxor. Thank you, Slayer, for requesting and financing this react. And until next time, excellent. All right. Hello, everyone out there. And, of course, hello, Slayer. Welcome to some more private react videos now for the month of January 2023. Happy New Year to everyone out there. And, of course, to Slayer, who has paid yet again to have some private react videos. And here we go. We're starting up with, I believe this is a follow-up to a video that I had done either last month or the month before. It is the hardest K-pop dances, and this is part 2. And I guess this video is going to focus a little bit more on a little bit of the background of the music and everything. Now, this is the first time I'm doing it with my new setup. That means my new capture device, my new lighting, everything is new. This is very different from how I used to do things. I would definitely like feedback. Slayer in particular, obviously you're going to watch this first. Please let me know if this still sounded or looked as good as it used to. There may be sync issues, and sadly there's not much I can do about that, only because this new capture device was a little bit different timing than my old one. And I had to basically delay audio to get it to sync up. But to do that, you may hear like more desync in the echo out of my headphones. I mean, I have to hear it, right? If I can't hear it, I can't react to it. So I'm going to do my absolute best. I know that it's not going to be perfect, but if anything, the visuals, right? Maybe, I don't think we ever had an issue with the visuals of the capture before with these react videos, but definitely me, you know, being on camera could definitely look a lot better now with the lighting and the ring light and the mood light in the background and everything. So here we go. Without further ado, let's watch some more of the hardest K-pop dances ever, part 2. I have it on my phone, excuse me. Okay, here we go. Very good. Nice music. Again, see, I don't know how much echo you may be hearing your sync or not. Hopefully not too much. Part 2. Here we go. Lower the volume of my headphones a little bit to hopefully off-put the echo. Alright, so here we go. Big giant intro here. I wonder how popular this guy's channel is. I'll be honest, I haven't really looked at views and stuff for these channels that we look sometimes when we react. Boy Meets Evil. This is BTS. Is it J-Hope dancing? Okay. I didn't even know it's one of the members named J-Hope. Boy Meets Evil. I don't necessarily get evil from the dance moves. I get evil more from the set, right, than the dance moves. Looks to me more like he's just expressing himself here. What You by Speed? What You? You? Honestly, this one doesn't seem very hard hitting. This seems more a lot of sync and a lot of actually smooth. You take a look at their moves; they're very smooth. They got the roller speakers on there. Cat and dog TXT like text. Yeah, I would actually say compared to the last time that we did this, these are a lot more smoother dances, right? So you look like instead of like not sharp movements, right? Only One by Boa. I assume she's Boa. This reminds me of like a Michael Jackson dance video. The set, how you be dancing on a set, and it's obviously not a real street. Kind of like Universal Studios or something, dancing on one of the fake street sets. Maverick the Boy. This is a lot harder. Okay, this is a lot harder movie. It's gotta be so hard to get this sync down. You know, how much practice it must take to get all of them. Look how many of them there are. There's 9 or 10 of them there? 11 of them? And they're all in perfect sync. Spider by Hoshi. Well, I don't know why it's called Spider. It's Korean Spider-Man. He's gonna deliver pizzas and kiss you upside down. Here he comes. This is not hard hitting. This is unique and nice, but it's not hard hitting. I feel like the last montage was way more hard hitting. This is more just like unique. This is cool. Although it's a little more hip hop. You know what it is? This is the kind of music too. Like you don't want to be insanely hard hitting music that sounds upbeat and more calm or nice, right? But kind of makes sense maybe. We Young by NCT Dream. Are we young? You're young. I'm definitely not young. Yo, no one's calling me young these days. Yeah, I don't know, man. I do like the dancing. I completely disagree on this being hard-hitting moves. Very unique. His shirt says pizza. Hide and seek. Look at that. That's cool that they're wiggling their legs like that back and forth and everybody's sidestepping. That's cool. I actually like that dance move a lot. And they're all doing it in sync, too. That was neat. Attention from up tension. Is it up tension? I guess so. The number 10 and then TION. They're all wearing the same thing. This is, I think this is a case I think they're too synchronized because I don't like that they're all wearing exactly the same outfit. The only thing that stands apart is their hair color. Wings by Pixie. Once again, this is more, it's very hip-hoppy. This reminds me of like Paula Abdul or Janet Jackson. That's exactly what this reminds me of. Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson dancing back in the day. Only it's just them dancing instead of insane amount of like effects and crap going on. Like they used to do. There'd be water pouring in the background, and sparks exploding. Like, what is going on? This is more straightforward because this is them practicing in the studio. BTD Infinite is the BTS's offshoot, right? This is the feeder group for BTS. BTD. No, it probably is. It stands for something completely different. But anyway. Again, nice moves, but I'm not seeing the very hard hits from last time. Okay, this one looks hard hitting. Alright, out of all the ones so far, this is the hardest hitting. Undercover. You can see the sharpness of the movements and, you know, the sudden stops and moving to different positions. Absolutely. This is hard hitting. So this one fits the mold, I feel, or fits the moniker. Poison by Pink Fantasy. This is actually the same studio as the other one, with different lighting. You see Mrs. Men in the back there. I have no idea why this has to do with poison. It is nicely synchronized. The lighting's a little distracting. I just really like the neon lighting in the background. Wow, this guy. Yo, who stands out on this? I mean, is it really hard to say? The guy with the insanely bright blue hair stands out like a sore thumb with all of them. 90s Love by MCTU. What do they know about 90s love? Their parents weren't alive in the 90s. Right? Bewitched by Pixie. This is kind of cool. They kind of look like zombies. Yeah, they look like there's zombies coming off the ground or something. That's why they're bewitched. Maybe they're possessed. Interesting. You got focus on you and they're poking into their eyes. They do that. Yeah, this is cool. I like this game. Sunset by KNK. What are they doing to this poor guy? You have to take the noose off his neck. Jesus. What are you guys doing? Come on. That's your friggin' bandmate or pop group mate, because they're technically not a band, so what would you call them? A group, their group mate? I don't even know. That was unique, but they barely got started. Come on. That wasn't nearly enough of that game. Ugly Dance by DNF, or ONF? Why are they called Ugly Dance? Maybe because it's supposed to be like nothing artistic or fancy, just it's not ugly. I don't think that's ugly. If it was like totally just hard hitting and chaotic, I would call it Ugly Dance. I don't think this is very ugly. Misnomer. They're downplaying their skill. Miro from Stray Kids. Oh, we've seen Stray Kids a few times now, right? Sport kids, they're all stray, so I wish someone would adopt them. Give them a nice home life. Wannabe by Itzy. Synchronize, synchronize. See, a video like this Wannabe, I don't know like how this dance could match what they're saying. It sounds to me like you're a wannabe or something, but they're not. Obviously, they're not wannabes. Look at them. They're very good at what they're doing. So I don't know how the dancing actually matches the theme of the song. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's I Wanna Be Better or something. I don't know. I don't know what the lyrics mean. Love Whisper by D-Friend. See, now this dance is nice. It matches, I think, the song. Love Whisper. It's really like a light whisperings of love. Look at them. There's like this like floaty, little movements. Right? But they're nice and synchronized. That's good. That actually matches the theme of the song. Ooh, here we go. Fire by BTS. Now here's some hard dancing by the biggest group who does it. You know, you gotta wonder about BTS why they became the biggest group. What was it exactly about BTS that they became the world-renowned group that everyone knows about? And there's all these other groups in Korea that don't have that same level of success or world-renowned. They certainly seem good, so I'm not sure why BTS got the luck, right? I wonder what the story is behind it. Goosebumps by ONF again, second time. Here's another hard thing. This is much more harder hitting than the other dances. Goosebumps. I wonder why they have goosebumps. Goosebumps because they're nervous. They have goosebumps because they're captivated by something. Or goosebumps because they're scared. Someone's coming after them. Maybe they just saw their tax bill and they never paid taxes before. And now they're popular. They look, they're like, oh shit. That could be. Ready to Love by 17. Is it 17 because there's 17 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I think there's only around 12, 13. So I think the name is already false. I'm going to file a complaint formally. Ready to Love. Oh, same studio, different group. Drunk Days by N and Hype. There's a lot of use of the floor. Unique use of the floor. I'm going to do my own dance. I'm going to crack my neck during the dancing maneuvers. And crack. See if I can synchronize with them and not dislocate my neck or paralyze myself. No, if I tried to dance like that, I'd be paralyzed in like 3 seconds. I'd break 14 bones and my neck would be all my discs would be popping out. I'd be a mess, a big gelatinous mess. First by Everglow. This looks like a group that's a mix. I see men on the side and the girls in the middle. Maybe the girls of the group and there's just the backup dancers on the side, perhaps. Not sure. No diggity. This is very different from the No Diggity that I know about. I like the way you worked it, No Diggity. And now we dance real fast, and it sounds like nothing like that. Wow, yeah. This ain't the No Diggity I know. I think it means something a little different. This is again One Us. It's the same group again. Is it Onius or One Us? I can see it being more like One Us, but maybe it is Onius. I don't know. Crown by TXT again. Second dance by TXT. This is hard hitting, but I don't think it's intention to be a hard song. Especially because of the lightheartedness of the music playing, right? It certainly doesn't sound like it's a hard hitting song. Yeah, this is definitely more, you know, a lighthearted love song or something. Crown, I don't know. Swear by Elas. So they're all wearing things that say, I don't know what that says. Elas? Yeah. They're all wearing shirts that have this weird Elas like sign or logo on it. I don't know what it says. Swear? Were they swearing? Oh shit, oh shit, oh F this. I bet to be something else. Maybe like I swear to you. Trust me, I swear to you. I will be faithful and I will hit all of my hard hitting dance moves. Don't tease me by speed again. Whoa, what the? They're playing jump rope with each other's bodies. Now we're getting ridiculous. I think you can afford a jump rope. You don't need to be using each other's bodies. Come on. It's too dangerous. Now, one of them uses themselves as a basketball dunk right there. Just a slam, a backwards NBA jam like flying dunk into the hoop with one of them. I guess now. Icy by Itzy. There's like no lyrics here. A lot of oh yeah, that is kind of hard hitting with the arm movements. Shoulder and arm movements is really the emphasis of this, it looks like. Thunder by Very Very. Okay, another very hard hitting one. Okay. A lot of angle, right? All their hits are angular. Curve. Oh, yeah, there's like nothing straight in this dance. Look, all their arm movements, their shoulders, their legs are all angled. That was actually kind of cool. Scream by Dreamcatcher. We've seen Dreamcatcher many times before. Now we got one of them wearing a creepy Halloween mask in the background there from Halloween City. I guess it's supposed to be a horror theme. It sounds horror themed, right? Listen to the song. Come, go, scream. Win by a tease. Oh, this is a stage show. Unlike all the others, this is not in a studio or a dance studio. This is on stage. Win by a tease. That is pretty hard hitting. You know it's hard hitting, but it's harder to see because of all the smoke effects. Kind of makes it obscure and blurry. Love is hot. What is love, baby? Well, don't hurt me, love is. Just tell me what love is. Pretty good. Again, pretty smooth. For a second there, I thought that was another group on the right, and I realized it was a mirror reflecting them. I'm pretty stupid. Idea by Cayman. We've seen Cayman as well. That sounds familiar. So I'm pretty sure we've heard this group before. We've seen this group before. Idea. Oh, there you go. There's the hard hits right there. The shoulder movement and the leg lock. See the locking of the knees and the legs and they move back and forth. Interesting. DNA by BTS again. 3 BTS performances. Are they known for their hard hitting dancing? I wonder. Now they're in here 3 times. They're pretty good at the dancing, I'm not gonna lie. They're pretty well synced. Oh, I think I've heard that song before. I'm pretty sure I've heard that song before. That might have been one of the ones we were listening to for a year or so. We were listening to K-Pop and Captors movie here. That one sounded familiar. Rough by G-Friend. Like girlfriend, I guess. I feel like that song. KO by SF. What the hell is happening? No, that's unique. They're rolling in a circle. And as they roll, they're lifting each other off the ground. That was completely unique. Addicted by Pixie. We've seen Pixie before. Addicted, so it's supposed to be addicted to love, addicted to drugs, addicted to pancakes. Don't know. It doesn't look like pancakes. I'd say maybe something else. Excuse me. A tickle in my throat here. Sorry, I thought about pancakes and I saw you salivating. Growl by EXO. Growl? It's supposed to be like they're pissed at someone, so they're growling. Don't know, but they're too close to the camera. Back away before the cameraman sees you. You hit or sweat him. Don't hit him. Don't sweat on him. That's a lawsuit. Highlight by 17. 17 gang. But there's not 17 of them. I'm not sure what the name comes from. There's 8 of them right now. Look at her 11. I like the dance. It is pretty hard hitting. It's smooth and hard hitting. If anything, what we're seeing this time, last time around, the hard hitting, the hard dancing or hard hitting montage was more like really hard moves. This time, it almost looks to me like it's a combination of hard hitting and other techniques, and it blends together pretty nicely. What the heck are they wearing? Are they supposed to be like school outfits? Those are so weird, man. Wait, they changed. Oh, you know what? It's a music video. That's why they were going through different scenes. They were wearing different stuff. Side effects by Stray Kids again. Second one from Stray Kids in this montage here. Interesting contrast that they're wearing white and everyone else is wearing black, right? I like that. And the ground almost looked like silverish, but then in another background it was like orange. That was cool. Monster by EXO. We've heard this song before. We've totally heard this song before, I think. Now here's them dancing to it. Interesting. Pretty good dance. It's cool because they were all doing their own thing, but they were totally in sync while they were all doing their own thing. Bomb by Alexa. I'm going to blow up the place. No, don't say that too loud. They'll be coming for us in a second. Oh no. Oh no. You're pretty cool. Look here. Sorry. That was it. Okay. That was pretty cool. Again, a pretty good montage of stuff there. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. It differed from last time for sure. Because like I said, I feel like last time it was more all really hard hits. Everything was like hard hit. There was like a combination of hard hits with other styles, and I really like that. Okay, so the next video, it has nothing to do with K-pop, but we're going to do it in the same video because we can fit it in here. So apparently this is a content creator that does a lot of like factual videos. I guess this video is going to be called The Best and Worst of Each U.S. State by Real Life Lore. Now, previously, Slayer had suggested this channel to me, but after watching a video, I liked the video this channel put out, but man, it was dry. And what I mean by that is it was just a delivery of facts. So if you're like doing research, or you're just looking for some factoids that are a little interesting, it's great, but it's like, I wouldn't want to sit there and react to a bunch of videos from these guys. It's just like, it's like learning in school. You know what I'm saying? That's not very fun for my kind of content, but doesn't mean the channel's not good. We're going to watch a video from them. Okay, here we go.
This video is made possible by Skillshare. Start learning anything for
now, this
free
has
for 2
a
months
does have a
promotion
in it that we will have to try to skip by.
50 states in the U.S. and all of them are both best and worst at something. So let's start off alphabetically with Alabama, which is the best at college football, having won 16 national championships, but also has the worst student math scores in the country and the least amount of people that walk to work. Over in Alaska, they have the highest average salaries at $44,350 per year, but also have the nation's highest violent crime rate, rape rate, violence against women rate, and the highest DUI rate. Arizona is both the sunniest state with an average 193 clear days per year, and the hottest with an average temperature above 100 degrees Fahrenheit in midsummer. Arkansas has the nation's highest rate of dog ownership with 48% of households owning one, but also has the highest divorce rate. California, meanwhile, has both the largest population and economy of any state, home to 39.5 million people, which is more people than live in all of Canada. If California was an independent country, it would have the world's 5th largest economy, ahead of the UK and India. But California also has the worst air pollution and smog in the country. Colorado has America's lowest obesity rate at just 22% of the population, but at the same time has the highest rate of fatal motorcycle motorcycle accidents. Next up in Connecticut, they have
Oh.
the best broadband internet connection and the most dental visits, but also the worst economic inequality, which can
Wait a minute. He said the best broadband internet? No, that's a completely false statement. When was this video made? 4 years ago. In Connecticut, the broadband internet is incredibly limited. You can only get 1 to 2 companies, and only one company actually provides high speed enough to even be a live streamer like me. Cablevision. So, and they're not that good. They have problems. I don't know where they got that data from. That is definitely not the best broadband internet in the country. That is a complete lie. But what else did he say here?
perhaps be best seen by the nearby cities of Bridgeport, one of America's poorest cities, and Fairfield, one of her wealthiest.
Right.
Delaware is...
That's absolutely correct. I used to live in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He just said it. Bridgeport, Connecticut is one of the poorest cities in the country. How is it that you could have a state that has such a giant income, right? Because a bunch of rich people live in really one condensed area. Fairfield, Greenwich, places like that. And then everywhere else is poor in the rest of the state. Anyway, but the broadband internet thing, that was horse shit.
It's a well-known tax haven, so largely due to that, over 60% of Fortune 500 companies are incorporated in the state. But Delaware is also considered America's most boring state.
It is.
With the worst-rated nightlife and the fewest movie theaters per capita. Florida...
Everyone jokes that there's really nothing going on in Delaware. Like, there's nothing to do. You go there, like he said, to incorporate your business, and that's it. Once there was a joke that Delaware is like the world capital of corner stores. You can go to like a fucking 7-Eleven and Joe's newspaper shop, you know, get us, you know, that's all that's there. There's like nothing else.
is both America's flattest state and the one most impacted by hurricanes. And so
Hurricanes
because of that,
makes
it is
sense.
the most vulnerable state to future climate change.
Yeah.
Georgia has the highest quality roads in America, but also has the worst traffic, with the worst bottleneck for trucks in the entire country being located right here in Atlanta. Faraway Hawaii has the highest rated healthcare services and the highest life expectancy, but is also the most expensive state to live in with the nation's highest homeless rate. Idaho is America's most entrepreneurial state, but is also home to the most hate groups per capita with 7.1 hate groups per million people. Illinois has the healthiest teeth, but also has America's highest pollution health risk and the lowest fiscal stability rate. Meanwhile, Indiana is the best state at high school basketball, but also has the largest number of meth labs.
Well, yeah, who cares if you're good at high school basketball? Bring in the meth labs. Anyway.
At the same time, Iowa has the lowest divorce rate while also having the lowest number of LEED certified buildings per capita. Kansas is the nation's largest producer of wheat, but also has the lowest growth rate among young people at -1% per year, while also being ranked as having America's ugliest natural scenery. Kentucky is home to the longest cave system in the world, but also has the highest rate of adult asthma at 12% of the state's population. Louisiana, meanwhile, is home to America's largest port. The port of southern Louisiana, which handles 60% of all grain the country exports. But the state also has the highest incarceration rate, with 0.8% of the entire state's population currently
they have the best ports, but all the products keep getting stolen off the ports, and then they arrest the people who steal them.
in
Go right to jail.
Maine has the lowest violent crime rate and is also America's least diverse state, with a population that is 94% white. Maryland leads the country in highest household income, which averages $80,000 per year. But people here also have the highest debt-to-income ratio. Massachusetts is the most educated state with over 40% of the population holding a bachelor's degree, but also has the lowest birth rate and was the first state to ban happy hour. Simultaneously, Michigan has the most golf courses per capita of any state, but also has the worst rated state government integrity with very low scores in both transparency and accountability. Minnesota is the state where people spend the most money per capita on recreational activities, but also has the most severe winters in the country with temperatures that plummet down to -60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yikes!
Cold enough to give you frostbite in under 5 minutes.
They'll turn into a fucking
People
snowman.
in Mississippi, meanwhile, spend the most time watching pornography. With Pornhub statistics showing that the average user from the state spends 11 minutes and 33 seconds on the site. Mississippi also has the nation's highest poverty rate, worst rated healthcare services, highest infant mortality rate, and where you're most likely to die in a car crash.
And that's all has to do with
the
the
nation's cheapest gas, but was also the site of America's worst dioxin disaster back in 1983. Montana has the highest high school graduation rate at 93%, but also has the worst access to the internet. Nebraska is home to America's most reliable...
I wonder why. I wonder why they have the worst access to the internet.
power grid and also has the highest rate of carbon monoxide poisoning. Nevada, unsurprisingly, makes the most tax money from gambling and also has the highest rate in nightlife.
Of course.
But at the same time has the lowest ranked social environment.
Wow.
New Hampshire has the country's lowest poverty rate, but also has the highest cocaine usage
Oh,
among
yeah,
adults,
baby.
with 10.5% of that population admitting to trying it within the past year. New Jersey has
another
the
kind.
lowest suicide rate and also has the lowest rated short-term fiscal stability. Meanwhile, New Mexico is the best at choosing the winner of presidential elections. They've only been wrong 3 times since 1912.
Huh.
Unfortunately, the state also has the lowest rated public safety, with the highest arson and grand theft auto rates in the country. Because of those, it's ranked as the worst state to raise a family in.
Nice.
While New Mexico may be good at picking them, more presidents and vice presidents have origins in New York than any other state, with 7
New
presidents
York,
and 11
yes.
vice presidents.
The New York
But New York
aristocrats.
also has the highest taxes and highest abortion rate in the country, with 2.4% of women having had one. North Carolina has the highest quality preschools, but also the lowest number of libraries per capita. North Dakota is ranked as having the highest quality of
What
life.
the hell does libraries have to do with anything anymore? Everyone gets everything off the internet. You don't need physical libraries anymore. I'm sorry, it's just true.
While also having the worst alcohol problem. 24.7%
Come on, North
of
Dakota.
adults drink excessively in the
Oh,
state.
come on.
Ohio is America's most
up that
affordable state to live in, but it may not be worth it if you have allergies.
Who
As
knew?
7
Can't
out
live
of the top
there.
35 cities worst for allergies are located here.
No.
Oklahoma is home to the largest casino in the U.S.,
Oh.
but also has the lowest salaries for teachers
Oh.
at just $39,306 per year.
I'm shocked it's
while
that
also
much.
being the location of the most deadly tornadoes, 65 since 1950.
Wow.
Oregon
Teacher salary should be way more than that. I'm shocked that the lowest is 39,000. I actually thought it was lower, but it should be way more than that. It should be like double that.
has the highest number of craft breweries per capita,
Oh, boy,
and it's the
Oregon.
only state I couldn't find anything they were the worst in. So, congrats.
They're
Pennsylvania
not the
grows
worst.
the most
Wait.
organic mushrooms, and it's where you have the-
Wait. This video was made 4 years ago. This video was made before COVID, before Black Lives Matter. They are definitely the worst now in many things. They can't even keep their state under control. They're, Portland, holy shit. Portland has turned into like a war zone for several years. They are the absolute worst place. I would never want to go there. It was funny because when I moved here to Washington State, I said maybe one day I would want to go to Oregon for tourism. Fuck no, never. Absolutely not. They proved that basically they were so anti-control, anti-police, anti-everything. They let so much shit happen. Just, they let the people just take control, do whatever they want. And now that state is a mess. Just take a look at that news reports from like the past 2-3 years about Portland, Oregon, and tell me that they're not the worst at something. Boy, that's why this video is outdated, man. Okay, anyway, whoops. Here we go.
highest probability of hitting a deer while driving.
That makes sense.
1 in 63 odds. Meanwhile, Rhode Island has the lowest number of fatal industrial accidents per capita while also having the worst quality roads and bridges.
Oh no.
South
Old
Carolina
infrastructure
produces the
sucks.
most nuclear energy per capita but also treats their elders the worst of any state. South Dakota is the most hunter-friendly state with 26% of the population taking part,
Damn.
but also has the nation's highest employment and income gap by race.
Oh,
Tennessee
income
has
gap
the
by
highest
race.
number of
Ouch.
caves, but also the lowest number of dentists per capita. Texas produces the most wind energy and has the highest migration rate, with over 1,000 people moving here every day. But Texas also has the lowest voter participation at just 39% of the population and the worst nursing home quality.
wow.
Utah
I'll be honest with you guys. I think that a lot of this information is outdated, only because COVID and the protests we had here for a year or two. I think that changed a ton. I really feel like if they were to redo this video today, the statistics would be dramatically different. You'd see a lot of these things changed around.
America's highest church attendance at 53% of
Utah
the
church
population,
attendance,
going
yeah.
at least once per
Makes sense.
week, while also having the highest rate of skin cancer diagnosis. Vermont is ranked as the most equal state in terms of gender employment and income, but also has the highest college tuition fees. Virginia,
sucks.
meanwhile, has
Expensive
the
to be there.
lowest overall asthma rate, while kind of contradictorily having the highest toxic pollution rate, with 20 pounds of waste per square mile.
How's that even
Washington
possible?
is America's most bicycle-friendly state and weirdly has the worst invasive snail problem. Back over in West Virginia, you'll find the most
What? The worst invasive snail problem is the best they could find for this state for the worst? Like, what? Really? That's what you got? I haven't seen a single snail since I've lived here besides at the pet store. So I have no idea what he's talking about. Anyway.
State in terms of education level and income by race. But the state also has the highest obesity rate at nearly 38% of the population, the lowest amount of people with a college degree at just 19%, and the highest death rate related to opioid overdoses. Second to last is Wisconsin, which is the largest producer of cheese, but has the lowest equality in jailing by race, with over 1% of the state's minority population currently residing in jail. And here we arrive at Wyoming, which is America's least populated state. Only 579,000 people live here, less than the population of Milwaukee.
Damn.
This low population means that a resident of this state has 3.6 times the voting power in a presidential election than a resident of California does, thanks to how the Electoral College works. But Wyoming also has the highest number of fatal industrial accidents per capita and the lowest job growth rate in the country, at -0.6% per year. While jobs may be shrinking in Wyoming, they're rapidly growing across the United States in general. 213,000 jobs were added by U.S. employers just last month, and even more are going to become made available in the future, which you can help prepare yourself to apply.
And this is going to be the ad. This is completely false because this is over 4-year outdated information. The whole job situation is very different. Okay, so that is the first video for Slayer for the month. Interesting variety there, right? Interesting that we got K-pop and then this, totally different. Now, Slayer asked a question. I will publicly address it. He was curious. Does it always have to be a 30-minute video for a pledge on my Patreon? Because it's a $50 pledge to earn a private video, Q&A, React, otherwise. He says, what if some months I want you to react to a long film, like a 50-minute long film or 1 hour, and I want only one video? Can I do that? Yes, but of course, you would have to... It's basically you're paying for the time, okay? So, for example, if you're supposed to get a video that's roughly 20 to 25 minutes in length for $50, then if you want a 50-minute video, then yes, it would be one video for the $100 pledge. You see? That's how it would work. You do a $100 pledge, you say, hey, I would like one long video, you could do that, okay? Obviously, if it's going to be 1 hour long video, I would hope that you'll run it by me to make sure it's something that I'm interested in, and, you know, it's not going to be something that I find offensive or I don't want to do. At the same time, Slayer's done a great job of picking good videos that aren't like that, so I don't think that's going to be an issue with him. The only reason I say that is because, for example, once there was someone who wanted me to do a montage of music that all got hit on YouTube. It's like, now I can't even give him the video. Imagine if it was an hour and 30 minutes of it got taken down. Then obviously that's a problem. You know, but no, in general, it's about the time, you know. You don't have to ask for 2 videos that are 20 to 30 minutes long. You can ask for one longer video as long as you're you know, pledging enough to earn that chunk of time. So, all right, great video. First one for Slayer of the month. I hope everyone enjoyed it who checked it out. And Slayer, I hope that you enjoyed the video as well. Thanks a lot for your support. Till next time.